like you said, Houston is now on the clock, Brad, and you have the Texans 2 first-round selections here. Their first year is at pick 2.
I'm actually, I have to back out because they've already fired me. So I apologize. The turnover is happening now. I don't know what this team is doing. Like, why do they just keep churning the coaching staff?
I don't get it. I have no clue.
I mean, I'm not a huge Lovey fan. I wasn't like super excited that they brought him in, but I mean, there's no consistency. So I feel bad. I'm going to have to take a quarterback here because they need one, but I feel bad because this quarterback will be put in a weird spot with a coaching staff that, I mean, who knows what to make of him, because Nick Caserio still got a job, right? Like, they didn't let him go at this point. I'm thinking they won't, I guess. So it really comes down to who's your favorite quarterback in this class. It'll be Bryce Young for me, just because he's the most, I don't want to say the most pro-ready, but I think the safest of the quarterbacks that is most pro-ready. I think C.J. Stroud showed us in the playoff that he's got some other levels to him that I don't know that Bryce Young has. Watching him fight back against Georgia with what was happening to that Ohio State team in that game really got me going, okay, C.J. Stroud's maybe a little closer to the top quarterback in this class, at least in my mind. But for this pick, Houston's going to go Bryce Young. Give him a quarterback that has done it in big games, has the ability, can hit basically anywhere on the field that he wants, has some mobility, but isn't going to rely on running the ball. And I hope that he fits with whatever head coach they go and get. I mean, I feel like this needs to be TBD. If they get a coach that doesn't use this type of quarterback, then you got to flip it to a guy like C.J. Stroud. And I don't think any of these other quarterbacks are in that conversation as much as I like, Hooker, Richardson, Will Levis. These other guys are not bad, but they're certainly not number 2 overall pick value, at least in my mind at this point. That could change.
So Bryce Young is the pick here.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Bryce Young, the pick going to the Houston Texans. I got a feeling before this all said no, we're going to have a larger conversation about his size and his injuries that he's had.
They're fair to ask.
We've had one quarterback ever drafted in the first round of the NFL draft under 200 pounds. We've only had 2 quarterbacks under 6 feet tall drafted in the first round of the NFL draft in its entire history. Bryce Young is going to be a unicorn in that way.
Only 2 quarterbacks in the modern era of the NFL draft, sub 6 foot, sub 200 pounds, have ever been drafted. 2. Neither one of those were drafted on the first 2 days.
I will say I believe in Bryce Young, right? Like, he has got the character. He's a high football IQ kid. Like, watch throughout, even back in high school when they were interviewing him as they're winning championships. I mean, he knows exactly how to talk. He knows exactly how to carry himself as a leader. I mean, he's not a bad face of the franchise, even though he is quite undersized for the position.
Right. All right. That brings us up to pick 3 now, and the Arizona Cardinals and Miranda.